Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Titans Return Deluxe Class Autobot Hot Rod and Fire Drive. For the package, you got a really cool image of Fire Drive actually detaching from Hot Rod, as well as the Transformers text and the Generations logo. On the back of the package, you got images of Hot Rod in his vehicle and robot form, and it says, with the Decepticons rising, the Autobots power up with Titan Master partners to stop them. Fire Drive gives Hot Rod an electrostatic fire blast that disables the systems of enemy targets it hits. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the Titans Return Hot Rod opened up and out of its packaging. And it's actually been several years since we've gotten a new deluxe Hot Rod figure. And that's not taking in consideration, you know, the different names like Hot Rodimus and all that other stuff. I'm just talking about a new mold for Hot Rod in the deluxe scale. And this guy actually is pretty decent. And in terms of the overall look, it pretty much nails what Hot Rod really should have. You got the nice windshield, you got the flame detail here with the engine. Obviously, you got that nice red color. You got the exhaust pipes here on the side. I do kind of wish that those were silver, but I'm not going to pick too much about that. But you do have the silver on the engine. It would have been nice to see that on here as well. And then obviously, you have the very large spoiler. But in general, a lot of those kind of cues that you would expect Hot Rod to have definitely are represented here. I really do like it. Obviously, he does come with this gun. One thing that's interesting, instead of actually having things like kind of peg in there, you got these weird kind of overlapping tabs, which is kind of an interesting take on this, but you can actually tab those two together, and then you can come around here, you got the little slots right there that you can plug this into, and kind of recreate his Target Master sort of look, which is neat. I do dig that. You can remove this. You can actually open the cockpit, and here we actually have driving on the inside. This is a little Target Master guy. I'm sorry, the Titan Master, that being Fire Drive. Now, unfortunately, there is really not much, I'm going the wrong way, there's really not much to kind of show off on this guy. You can see some nice molded detail, but really no paint anywhere. It's just this fairly darkish gray plastic, which, you know, it would have been cool if he actually maybe got different color arms or something like that, maybe like red arms kind of go along with the head. But come around here, you transform it, and there you have Hot Rod's head, which I think that looks really very nice. A real good look to it. You got some nice blue eyes in there. You got some white paint for his face. Would have been cool to see like maybe some coloring around his little crest up here. Maybe put some yellow on there. You can see that it's molded in that sort of look, but it's lacking the paint application, which, you know, it's par for the course, I guess, when it comes to some of these, but still really nice nonetheless. And again, you can take him if you want to. You can sit him in here, although you do have to kind of move his arms out of the way to get him to fit in there fairly well. So you can do something like that. And again, you can close this, and you can, I don't know why you would want to do this, honestly. I mean, because that's just kind of silly. Why would you do that? But you have that as an option for you. You can also separate these. You can't really put them in this way because, as you can see, this piece kind of dangles, so you can't put it like that. Get that tabbed in there. You got the little holes there because that goes past where the wheels actually are, so you have to have it on the opposite side right there. Get that pegged in. But come on, what? Come on, there you go. So you can do that, which I don't even, I don't know. I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't have any clue why they do this stuff that they do. So overall, really very nice. And then obviously bringing in the original classics version, you can see similar elements, but honestly, I kind of like the way that the new one looks a little bit more. Now, obviously, this is a little bit more cartoon accurate in terms of the coloring. You do have the rub symbol right on here. Obviously, this one doesn't. This was like the reveal the shield line or something, so several years ago. But you got those same overall design elements. I really do think that the Titans Return one looks considerably better. You do have this kind of faux flamethrower dealie here, which you had that on the original, but that actually removed and became his gun. And, well, if I can remove it, but that became his gun in his robot mode. So I do kind of like that they carried over that same kind of design. It's a cool look for them. Now to transform them, really very, very simple. We're going to detach these arms. One thing I'll say is that it feels like it shares a similar sort of design and I guess engineering like a Blur or a Brainstorm, I guess. So pull these out just like so, and then these legs here, you can rotate these around. You can then lift this piece up. This is going to hinge upward like so. Get that out of the way. You can take this top section, tuck that down, fold this all the way down like so. Come down here to the legs, get these out of the way. Rotate him here at the waist. Come around here, you got the little feet. Just fold those little flat things out, which those are really very flat. Take this, tuck that in just like so. Rotate this piece around and then bring this up. This is actually going to kind of latch in to this top section of the window. So just bring that in, that kind of frictions into place. Come around here to the hands. You can bend the elbows just to give them some flair. Fold the fingers or the hands out just like that. Set him there. Obviously, we're going to take Fire Drive, transform him into his head, and then position that right in there just like so. Unlike some reviewers, I don't have a hard time getting this in there because I'm actually putting it in the right spot. You can actually see that there's a little section right here that like juts out, and you're trying to take the head and you're trying to put it in that hard plastic piece. That's not where it goes. It goes behind that. So that's why you're gonna have a hard time putting his head on there too. But when you're done, there you have Hot Rod in his robot mode. And I really do like the way that this guy looks. I think that, again, the elements are all there. The biggest downfall, I would probably say, is the fact that he's got his rear spoiler, but it should sit up a little bit higher. I wish there was a way that you could actually fold this up some, or maybe if they put like a little sliding hinge to kind of slide this piece up or something like that, because when you have it from the front, these large like shoulder pieces here kind of hide it. Now he's always had basically large shoulder pieces. It's not anything that's new, but that just silhouette image with the spoiler kind of showing is hidden when you just have it like that. Now, obviously, again, you have his guns that you can hold in, or you can split, and you can have them hold in either hand, which is pretty good. One thing that I did notice, I mean, like you have this section right here. You can actually, if you wanted to, and I didn't think this looked all that bad. If you leave it down like that, I actually think that kind of looks pretty good still. It's kind of blocky and square like the Masterpiece one, but I don't know. I don't think it really is all that bad. Now, for a comparison, obviously, here is that classic one again, and when you look at these figures, just fiddling with his legs to kind of get him to actually look right, you know, for what it was, this was a really good figure. I mean, this is what sat on people's classic shelves for the longest time, and just by looking at it though now, you can really see how dated the actual figure is. It's not a bad figure. It really, really isn't. It's been repainted many times. And you can see there are some extra paint detail kind of on here. Like, I mean, you got the elements right down here where like this one has the little yellow section that is molded there, but it's not painted. Everything else, I mean, is really very, very similar. But you do see the spoiler a little bit better, you know, on the classic one. But at the end of the day, I was always, what is good enough to replace an existing figure in my display? And to be totally honest, this guy is. It's not that this is a bad one. It's just definitely dated. And I think that the new one just far exceeds the old look for him. And then as a deluxe size figure, you can see that Hot Rod here comes in at almost exactly 6 inches tall. And coming in to take a closer look, again, I mean, a lot of those elements that you would expect Hot Rod to have are there, like the little white sections up here. You got very nice, kind of glossy black tires. I do like that. You got the little exhaust ports here on the sides of his forearms, which actually, again, bringing in the old one, I mean, even those look better on the new one than they did on the old one. They were barely there. So, I mean, again, just a lot of much better design elements. Obviously, the head is a little bit bigger because it incorporates that, you know, whole Titan Master gimmick, but all in all, not bad. It compresses fairly well. Like I said, I just do wish that this could hinge up just a little bit to give a little bit more of a kind of classic Hot Rod sort of silhouette. I mean, it's still there, it's just not as prevalent. Now, first articulation, the head does rotate. It has that neck connector, so you do get a nice range of motion there. You got a hinge right here, which is mostly for the transformation, and then you got the shoulders primarily on ball joints, so good range of motion in and out, forward and back. He's got a swivel at the actual elbow, and then also a hinge. I guess you could kind of say that he's got a hinged wrist, but again, not really intended as being part of the articulation. It's just part of the transformation. He does rotate here at the waist fairly nicely. You got ball joints here at the actual hips. He does rotate at the upper part of the thigh. He's got single jointed knees, and then I guess you could kind of say that he's got a little bit of forward and back ankle pivot. So fairly standard articulation in the guy. Overall, really happy with how he looks with just that minor nitpick, I guess. Now, to transform him back first, we're going to pull out Fire Drive. We're going to set him off to the side. You can transform him by just rotating those legs down, and we're just going to put him right there. Come around here to the hands, tuck these into his forearms. Again, very simple and easy transformation. If you've transformed any of those other two figures like I talked about, this is going to feel very familiar to you. Rotate this around. You can take this, tuck this up like so. Come around here to the waist, rotate that around like that. Take these, fold these out like so. Tuck the little feet up here. Bring this section around. Bring this section around. You can tab that together, but you're going to have a hard time locking everything in until you bring this around. So spin that around and then bring this. You got that little hinge. Rotate that down. You actually take the little tabs are on the outside here. That tab underneath these little kind of pillars for the spoiler. So just bring that down. Give that a nice little push. Lock that into place. That actually holds it in a lot more than the middle tab here. Then bring these arms around. Collapse these up and in. And then these sections of the actual exhaust kind of go underneath. So you kind of pull up and then you kind of have to push forward and then they tuck underneath the rear section here. But when you're done, there you have Hot Rod back in his vehicle mode. But in general, a really fun and good update to a otherwise classic and, dare I say, iconic figure that has been in a lot of people's classics displays since the very beginning. I really feel with what they did here with the Titans return figure really does warrant replacing that old one with this guy. So if Hot Rod here is a figure that you'd be interested in adding to your collection, he will be hitting various retail locations fairly soon. So good luck and happy hunting. Or as always, there's Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do for that is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can check out availability on this guy as well as the rest of the new Transformers Titans return figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, to please like and share it. It goes a long way towards helping me out. Also, be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you never miss out on a future review of mine. Or if you're already subscribed, be sure to click on that little bell on my homepage, and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And as always, until next time, be excellent to each other. You're at your best when the going gets rough. You've been put to the test.